In tonight's Whatever Happened To segment, massive reforms called for at the National Security Agency over surveillance on Americans. The information has also had massive implications in Europe. Correspondent Gillian Turner has our story tonight from Great Britain. One-time NSA contractor and CIA employee Edward Snowden is believed to be in Hong Kong tonight, hiding out after leaking information.
The Snowden revelation shook the world during the summer of 2013, and ever since, the National Security Agency and U.S. Congress have been embroiled in an epic battle over the legality of mass surveillance. Back then, the 29-year-old NSA contractor publicly confessed to stealing a trove of highly classified intelligence about U.S. surveillance programs. Snowden handed that intel over wholesale to the UK's Guardian newspaper and New York Times, and in the process revealed that the intel community was collecting information about Americans suspected of having ties to terrorism, prompting a national outcry.
What Snowden did more than anything else is he brought one word to the forefront, and that was privacy. It burst the bubble. People thought they had far more privacy than they really did.
A lot's happened in the ensuing years since the very public fallout. Members of Congress insist they've used their oversight authority to tamp down on NSA operations.
There have been a number of reforms, most of which I can't go into, that our intelligence community has put in place to make sure that what happened with Snowden does not happen again.
And chastened the nation's leading intel officials.
I would follow the law, and I would ensure, if confirmed, that the agency follows the law.
Congress and the Defense Department also established U.S. Cyber Command to provide military support for U.S. networks. And while intel experts widely view these steps as effective, they also acknowledge the NSA continues data collection of Americans, about 530 million calls in just a few years.
The problem is we're collecting more and more, but the real question is how much of this are we really processing? How much of this is really turning into things that we can make decisions on?
European countries were also hit hard by the Snowden revelations. Britain's government in particular is still grappling to this day with major fallout. As the U.S. restricted government access to America's data, Britain's parliament went in the opposite direction. It passed legislation known as the Snoopers Charter in November 2016. It requires internet companies to keep logs of customer browsing data for 1 year. The law is so contentious here in Britain, it's been fought over in the High Court virtually since the day it passed. And just last month, the court ruled it violates British citizens' right to privacy and ordered the government to draft new legislation by November 1st. Brett?
Gillian Turner in London. Gillian, thank you.